Hi, I'm Steve Murphy, and welcome to the Insider Exclusive. Today, we are continuing our series on the headline civil rights news. We are going to be focusing on the death of Lawrence Taylor by the LA County Sheriff's Department. Brian Dunn, partner at the Cochran Firm, will be here discussing the case. Stay tuned.
The chase began around 7:30 p.m. The pursuit raced through several streets. Authorities say the driver appeared to be drunk. Kids were out and about in the area. It was a very dangerous situation. The pursuit ended when the suspect circled a block 4 times before running over a spike strip. Shortly before reaching the spike strip, officials say the suspect aimed his car at a deputy. Feeling threatened, officers opened fire. A witness says it appeared to her that the suspect had already hit the spike strip, ending the pursuit, yet deputies shot into the car anyway.
He's got the gun drawn, and he may be shooting the suspect.
6 to 8 bullets fired from a deputy's gun stop a fleeing suspect dead in his tracks. Detectives say he repeatedly pulled the trigger after the 44-year-old driver aimed his car at the deputy's partner, who was laying a spike strip at Parmalee Avenue and 142nd Street.
I am very pleased to have with me today the lawyer of Lawrence Taylor, Brian Dunn of the Cochran Firm. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve.
You've been back here many times. You're always representing people, generally, that have been killed by the police. And
their families specifically.
Yeah, and we have another situation. LA County Sheriff's Department, once again.
That's correct.
We're going to go to the video. The video sums it up perfectly. Let's go to that right now.
The driver wouldn't stop and instead led authorities on a chase that wound through neighborhoods. It all came to an end around 7:41 in the evening near the intersection of Parmalee and 142nd Street. Here, a deputy was laying down a spike strip. The suspect races around the corner, nearly striking the deputy, who leaped out of the way to avoid being hit. His partner then opened fire.
This is a tough case. It appears to me that the police really went against their policy of shooting an individual just because he's in a car. But on the other hand, the police, the Sheriff's Department, is saying or claiming that he was using his car as a deadly weapon.
To look at what happened out there that night, you have to start by analyzing the training that the officers had. And when you look at it from that perspective, you see that this particular incident resulted from a total breakdown in police procedures and police protocol. They're trained not to shoot at people present in moving motor vehicles to try to disable the vehicle. This just is not effective. Shooting at a person in a vehicle, even if you kill him, it doesn't stop the vehicle.
If this Lawrence Taylor, they were chasing after him as a result of, he had been drinking. So it was a potential DUI.
That's all he did.
Why didn't they just shoot the tires out of the car?
Well, they're not typically trained to shoot at tires. They're trained that if they shoot,
yes,
if they make the decision to shoot,
yeah,
they are trained to shoot to kill.
Well, here's a guy, what was he, 40 years old or something, right? He's driving his car, he's had too much to drink. He hasn't hit anybody, correct?
No.
The sheriff is seeing him driving, haphazardly on the street, wants to pull him over. Right. He doesn't stop. Right. We notice in the video that there's about 5 cars that go after him, really aggressively.
That's correct.
They lay the tire strip out there, which is common SOP, correct?
Right.
And the car looks to me like it's swerving to avoid the tire strip so the guy can get away, I guess. But the police, the Sheriff Department, believed that he was using his car as a deadly weapon, and they chose to. How many bullets did they fire into him?
He fired 7 rounds total.
And how many went into him? 4, right?
4 rounds shot Mr. Taylor.
And the autopsy report, which you have right there, says that he was shot where?
The bullet that killed him basically went into his back. That means the car was already in front of the officer at the time the fatal shot was delivered.
Good point.
And what you can tell from the video is that by the time the car is in front of the officer, the other deputy, Deputy Amaya, to whom he's trying to protect, is clearly out of the way. Every round that is fired, every bullet that is fired, has the potential and the capacity to end the life of a human being. And there must be supreme reverence for that, supreme respect for that. It is not enough to say, I was startled. It's not enough to even say I was scared. There has to be concrete proof that this person is going to pose a significant threat, death or serious bodily injury.
Did the Sheriff Department have any information on who he was?
Absolutely not.
He could have been your newspaper delivery guy, right?
Yeah.
They knew nothing about him.
Could have been somebody who just had a bad day at work and went to a bar after work and was drinking.
You brought with you today a training video that the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department shows to all their deputies to show them when to exercise and under what conditions to exercise lethal force, right? We're going to go to the video right now. It starts out with Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, showing the audience, showing the new rookies, if you will, the Sheriff Department, what not to be, right?
Exactly.
So let's cut to that video right now.
Halt! Police!
Movies. They're great entertainment, but do they influence how we react as peace officers and how we do our job? Movies influence us more than we know. The movies industry uses stunt drivers, blanks, and special effects to sensationalize the action. We overlook this and think that a car will become incapacitated when we fire at the vehicle. Let's take a look at what really happens when you fire at a moving vehicle. Our policy states that you shall not discharge your firearm at a motor vehicle or its occupants in response to a threat posed solely by the vehicle, unless you have an objectively reasonable belief that the vehicle or suspect poses an immediate threat of death or serious physical injury to the department member or another person, and the department member has no reasonable alternative course of action to prevent the death or serious injury. The department member should always consider trying to get out of the way.
Now, Brian, we've just seen the video. It says in there never to use deadly force stopping a vehicle except when the life of a law enforcement officer is in danger. As you brought up in the Lawrence Taylor case, we have a guy, the deputy is out of the line of fire. He's out of danger. The other deputy is still shooting after him.
That's correct.
When you point out in the video, because I'm sure it's going to be shown
Again and again.
again and again, but when you point out that the danger had passed,
The danger had passed.
what can that officer say?
He's going to say that the common thread in all of these cases is it was a split-second decision. I was under the stress and excitement of a fast-moving event. I don't appreciate you. Oh, exactly. I don't appreciate you coming in and playing Monday morning quarterback.
You know, in war, and I equate that to the My Lai massacre logic. You know, in war, there are rules of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you are trained as a professional to be able to better handle a situation because you're trained as a professional.
Right.
And if you can't handle those circumstances, then you shouldn't be in those shoes.
Right. Well, I agree with that, Steve. And every once in a while, a jury agrees with that, too.
Why don't you give out your website so people can call you, contact you? What is your website?
Thank you, Steve. www.cochranfirm.com. COCHRANFIRM as in Mary.com.
Thank you for sharing. Thanks for coming here, and good luck on your case.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks for watching. You can get more information about our guest and the shows at www.insiderexclusive.tv. Thanks again.